So I started to study with a Japanese Zen master in 1974, and it changed me. I personally had a lot of I had trauma both from having been born in a war, from what happens when a country tries to reconstruct itself after a war, immigration that was part of a war, the poverty that my family went through, many, many things. And in 74, when I walked into the Zen Center in Minneapolis, there was something about the silence, the quiet, that struck me very deeply and that changed me. And since then, I have been a student of that path. And a couple of years ago, I took some time to study with two people. One was Alan Wallace, who was a Buddhist, an ex-Buddhist monk, Tibetan Buddhist monk, who is also very interested in physics, and whose dad was a Protestant theologian. I came from a very Protestant background. And he, Alan Wallace, and a man called Paul Ekman, who had done the seminal work on universal microexpressions of the face, the two of them actually in the Mind Life Conference with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, they had agreed to create a program which would integrate emotions and awareness of emotions and the impact of the emotions and meditation. And I studied with them in Phuket which is in Thailand, and was certified to teach a course called Cultivating Emotional Balance, which integrates those two modalities, emotional regulation and meditation. And since I was certified to do that, I have been, I taught a pilot of that program, and I'm now very interested in adapting it to the needs of vets and returning military, both active and returning military people. And what it's really all about for me is that I've thought deeply about this. How can this help veterans? And I think that when you have been in a combat zone, whether you're actively in combat or whether you're part of that whole machine, and actually not only that, but when you've been part of the training to kill, which is the training that our military people receive, and some, of course, then go on to actually kill. When that has happened, I think there's been a turning point in your life. That it's like being bitten by a vampire. Once you've been bitten, it's in your blood. It doesn't go away. You carry it with you. And so while on the social, cultural level, I think we need to open the doors and allow our military people to return to their old jobs. We need to open the doors and allow them to re-enter their lives. On a spiritual level, on a very, very deep inner emotional level, there needs to be a return as well, because when you've been in the military, and especially when you have been involved in either killing or in knowing that you might kill, I think what happens is that people shut down. You can't kill without thingifying someone. It's like the Martin Buber I-it relationship. People no longer are related to you. If they are, you can't kill. You have to make them the enemy. But in that training, something terribly significant happens to people, and what happens is that parts of them shut down. And those parts, which have to do with intimacy and relatedness and connectedness, not only to each other and to others, but also to oneself, somehow those doors have to be opened again, and somehow there needs to be a returning to that inner core of living in that relatedness, of living in the heart. And meditation is really an ideal vehicle for that, because it simply is the allowing of the unfolding that I think needs to happen. And the beauty of doing it with a group is that you're doing it together. And there's something very, very powerful about that reinforces not just the connectedness to self, but the connectedness to others. So as I was trained to teach this program, it seemed to me that this might be a vehicle, or could be, is a vehicle that can help people in that returning.